positive news about the return of fans.
Crowds return to the football today.
Oh, yes!
Somewhere in San Marino, some shop workers are going to work very upset today.
You can't say that. They'd be upset every game.
Oh, another work. Hungover? No. Just got beaten again. Oh, dear. I mean, 10-0. I mean, what the... I don't know whether you believe me or not. England are the only team I know that can win 10-0 and I'm still bored.
It's just like, we know San Marino is shit. Why do we bother? They haven't even got that guy anymore, the one who played in the Italian league. He's 45. Andy Silva is 45. He's been retired for like 5 years now. I thought he was still playing. He retired 5 years ago. He's a manager of a team now. Not me.
That is disgusting.
He's manager of the San Marino champions.
and part of your Dover football manager career mode, I'm sure.
Oh, him and Lee Hendry in Football Manager 2016 were tearing it up. Remember when I signed Lee Hendry on Football Manager for 45 quid a week?
You were literally just like, oh, I could sign Lee Hendry. Oh, he'll come and play for me, surely. And he comes in and is your best player.
Oh, but I've never played so little for a player before. 45 quid a week. But I can pay for him now. Lee Hendry just sitting next to me while we do the podcast.
I'm sure he'll do it.
He's on TV so often. He probably needs the money.
But I mean, we're going to Qatar. Oh, what an achievement that is in that group. What an achievement.
What do you think's worse, Newcastle getting bought out by Saudi Arabia or the World Cup being in Qatar?
Oh gosh.
Or I'll give you a third option: Danny Higginbottom playing for Gibraltar.
I just think with this whole Qatar thing, it's just. I mean, it's
arguably, they're all as bad human rights abuses as each other, including Danny Higginbottom.
It's just terrible, isn't it? It's all a ploy for money, but it's going to be so hard having to stop the season halfway, literally, to have a World Cup. It's just not going to feel. It's not going to be the same, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's really not going to be the same vibe, the same atmosphere. It's just going to be an experience that we go. This is just weird. We're not going to be enjoying it. You watch, we'll go and win this one now, and we won't be able to go out and have a nice beer garden because it'll be freezing.
I hope we start singing because it's going to be over Christmas time. I hope they start singing
"Coming Home for Christmas."
Yeah, literally, I was going to say they start singing like carols and hymns, but with England shirts. Away in Qatar, no beer in our belly.
We're going to go to the pubs with our hot chocolates. Everyone's going to be
crowding around.
Oh, I'm burning!
Give me my white hot chocolate, Starbucks. We're losing to not Andorra. They would be in it, would they?
Do you remember when we went to? I think we said this on the podcast before. We went to Barnet, and we were like, we used to get a beer every time we went to the football, and it was that was the coldest I've ever.
It was snowing.
It was the coldest I've ever been in a football game ever, and we got there. And we both just went, I think we're going to get a hot chocolate instead.
We split an Uber. We made a point of never getting Ubers when we was at uni.
Yeah, I know. And literally, we were going to get the train. And then we literally were like halfway down that because it's like a marathon to get to the stadium.
Yeah. It must have been a good because the thing is, you can see the stadium from Barnet North or wherever it is. And then, but the walk, it's like a zigzag, isn't it? Like
terrible.
Walking this now, I'm walking back to the stadium. Oh, I'm walking away to the stadium. Now I'm walking back to the stadium.
It is awful. And then we were so cold, and literally we were halfway there. We were like, do you know what? It's only 20 quid to get an Uber. It's about tenner each. Let's do it.
I remember I got a beer in the and we was just standing. I was waiting for you to get your hot chocolate, and you looked at me and you were like, "You okay?" And I was like, "I can't feel my hands."
It was also because they were doing the FA Cup draw, weren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Because it was the Monday night kickoff, wasn't it? And they were doing the draw. And every time a team came out, all the Brentford fans were like, no, 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 no. And then Swansea came up. That's like the furthest trip away. And they could hear all the Brentford fans go, no, no, no. And then it got Swansea. And we're like, oh, boo. And then we drew 2-2 with them.
Huh?
Then we drew 2-2 with them, didn't we?
What, with Swansea?
No, with
No, it was 3-0. It was 3-0.
Oh, was it 3-0? Oh, that was the game that we got fooled on the penalty. So this is where you sit there and go, referees, how do they get things so wrong? Because we were both sitting there, and it was Ollie Watkins, wasn't it? And
yeah, I think so.
And he threw himself to the floor.
Was it not Ben Rama?
I can't remember who it was. Ben Rama wouldn't have been playing in that game.
Oh no, it was Ollie Watkins. It was Ollie Watkins.
And he threw himself to the floor like the other end of the pitch. And we were all like going, oh, it's a penalty, it's a penalty. And then I remember you sitting there going, why are they all crying around the referee? I could see it's a penalty from here. And then we
I've
got
never
home.
seen more of a penalty in my life from at that moment.
And then we got home, and then you were like watching the highlights, and you're like, David, that was nothing. That was nowhere near a penalty.
He didn't even but we couldn't have been much closer to the pitch, and we generally thought it was the most blatant penalty of all time.
I was like, why are they complaining? It's definite penalty. And it was just, and it was so, because every time they scored a goal, you just get all the fans just going, 1B's in London. We're only 1B's in London.
Do you know, also that classic chant of championship, you have another. Never heard that one before.
Oh, my favourite chant when I was at Brentford was at the QPR game. When that was the only time we ever sat down and went to Brentford, and we were sitting right near the QPR fans, and that was actually quite a good atmosphere to be near their fans because they actually hate each other. They cannot stand each other. And it was just so funny because it's like, bus stop it, Alonso. You're just a bus stop it. Best trips ever to Brentford. I don't think there was ever a game where we went and we were like, what a waste of time that was.
I do vaguely remember a 0-0. Was it against Birmingham?
Oh yes, yeah.
Do you remember those like 16-year-old Birmingham fans getting like surrounded by the police? And they weren't even doing anything.
Oh, dude, the only well, it's not anymore, but the only stadium that had a pub on every corner.
Yeah, have they not built a bar on every corner as like trying to have the same effect, and it hasn't really worked?
I can't remember. I haven't been up there since it's Chase Stadium.
Dave, I want to play a game with you talking to San Marino.
Go on then.
It's called the Andy Silva Football Challenge.
Oh, I can't wait. Who is Andy Silva?
Right, well, the podcast's over now. He is San Marino's top goal scorer.
How many goals he got? 1.
That's the question. How many goals has Andy Silva scored in his career?
What, for San Marino?
Yeah.
2.
Dave, you're going to be surprised. Hold on. I'm trying to think how many years. In 18 years of playing for San Marino, he played 73 times and he scored 8 goals.
Where were these 8 goals?
Listen to this. He scored 1 in 1998 against Austria. Then he scored against Belgium twice in a year. Granted, they lost 10-1 and 4-1. He scored in a 1-0 win against Liechtenstein, and he scored against Belgium again. Andy Silva, he scores when he wants. Why do they not sing that? They must be. Do you know what? Belgium must be terrified because they only lost 2-1 in that last game against Belgium in 2005.
That's terrible, isn't it? They must be.
He scored 2 goals in 2005. They were the glory years.
Twice to San Marino in your career, you're just done.
He scored 3 times against Belgium.
I don't know what you think. I think what they should do is I think this is getting a bit silly now. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I just don't have any hype when it comes to, you know, playing San Marino and Andorra's. I think they should do what they do with the FA Cup and have a pre-qualifying stage for all these, not being disrespectful, but for these little nations before they go up against the big boys. Because we've had Andorra and San Marino in our group. I mean,
yeah, but Andorra finally got some points.
I mean, what a waste of time that is. I think what they should do is like what they do with the FA Cup. Have a small
Dave, can you be careful what you say? You know I'm really good friends with the captain of Andorra.
I know you are. I know you're Twitter friends. But I think they should have a pre-qualifying stage for all these little nations, and then if they get through, then they've earned their right to be there. Like almost like what happened. Do you remember the Confederations Cup years ago when Tahiti made it? You know,
Oh, that was great fun.
I mean, they got battered every game, and they lost 10-0 to Spain.
Tahiti get battered everywhere they go.
But at least they'd earned the right to be there, whereas it's not doing them any harm.
I think teams. Do you know what? I think it's a shame because I actually think, okay, San Marino is not the example here, but obviously teams like Andorra, Faroe Islands, who was it? Was it Luxembourg or Liechtenstein who actually managed to get like 9 points or something? I think it was Luxembourg. Didn't they beat Ireland in Ireland?
Yeah, they did actually. All right, yeah.
Or was it 1-0? But I think this is where the positive side of the Nations League comes in, because they're actually playing more competitive games, which improves the football. Like I remember saying a couple of weeks ago, Kazakhstan just losing 1-0 to France, but actually played some quite good football. So I think, but obviously with San Marino, I mean, it makes Andorra look like a mega country in the size of it. Do you know what I mean? Like San Marino, I just don't think they have. Or was there like 30,000 people? Didn't they say Rochdale was bigger than San Marino?
I just think it's I think it's just a bit of a disrespect to have on them to just be thrown up against the likes of England and Poland, which they're going to lose, 10-0 to all the time. I know it's a great day for them, like they're loving it. Like even though they were getting battered, I mean it's a great experience. Like one day they can sit there and go, I played against the best players in the world, or some of the best players in the world.
I played against Conor Gallagher.
Oh, he's been brilliant though. But it's just, I just think they should do that. Have a qualifying stage, and then it makes England, I think, more like for a country like England, it makes England more ready for a big tournament. Because the problem is we play San Marino, Hungary, Andorra, Moldova, Albania. We play all these crap countries, and then we get to the big tournaments. And okay, granted, semi-final and a final in the last two tournaments, but it makes it a bit more competitive, and it makes you feel like you've actually earned your place in the World Cup. But they won't do it because they put the crap teams in there straight away because they want the big nations there. They want the big nations there. Like, I can guarantee you right now, the football federations they're fuming that Serbia beat Portugal because it means that Ronaldo is now in jeopardy not being at the World Cup in Qatar. Like, let's be honest here, they don't want Serbia there. They want Portugal there because of Ronaldo. And I just think, do a qualifying round, and then you have 7 teams in a group that you sit there and go, right, we've got to be on our game for every single game, not when we're playing against San Marino going, oh, let's improve our goal difference here, because we didn't have this in the olden days. Otherwise you're looking at people like Ian Wright and Gary Lineker and Bobby.
You're saying that we went 1-0 down to San Marino in their day.
Then we beat them 8-1.
We did, yeah, but it was that goal was vital in the qualifications.
True. But I just
that's their claim to fame, stopping England from qualifying by losing 8-1.
But it is just like, I just think that's the way we should go, because I think it's so. I don't know it's about this Harry Kane thing, but Harry Kane's now, from these 2 games against Albania and San Marino, he's scored how many goals? 4 last night. He scored 7 goals in two games. This is an out of form Harry Kane. 7 goals.
You're saying that this isn't out, but the Albania win was a pretty decent win because Albania aren't a terrible team. Like, they got to the Euros a couple of years ago. Yeah,
but what I'm saying is Albania should be, in my opinion, Albania should be and I'm not being disrespectful when I say this, I hope I'm not, but Albania should be the team in the group that you sit there and go, that's kind of your 3 points.
Oh, they should be the bottom seed team.
That's what I mean.
I get you.
That's what I mean. They should be the team that you look
at. But it shows that they still got a chance to qualify rather than whilst being the bottom.
That's what I mean. Like no offense, but San Marino and Andorra, I mean, they're just there to build the numbers. It's just no point. And also, if you're looking at benefiting, as you were saying with Kazakhstan and the Nations League, if you're looking at bettering these football teams, it won't do them any good to be beaten 10-0, 7-0, 8-0 throughout the qualification process. It would do them maybe some good if they were going up against teams, because let's be honest, they sit there and go, well, we're beaten before we even get on the football pitch. If they were going up against an Andorra in a qualifying stage, they'd get up for that because they go, you know what, we're not as good as Andorra, but we could give them a good game here if we sat back and really worked hard. I mean, how many times have Andorra been 0-0 with England at half time or 1-0 down with England at half time? You know, there is.
Tell me Andorra aren't improving.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, and if they were to do like a qualifying stage, they might improve because it's breeding confidence and like
this Nations League it's probably amazing for them. Do you know what I mean?
But why don't we do that for the qualifying stage? And then when they get up against the bigger boys, they're improved and ready to fight. Like in Albania, if Albania were in a qualifying stage with the likes of a San Marino, Andorra, Faroe Islands, whatever, then they might win that group or win the qualifying group comfortably, or win a couple of qualifiers comfortably, and then they'd be going up against England with a bit more confidence and might give England a bit of a game. Do you know what I mean? It might be beneficial for them.
I've just looked on YouTube. There's actually a guy who vlogs every San Marino game. Dude, to be fair, if he's a full-time YouTuber, that is one great job.
San Marino Fan TV. Disappointing result today again.
Just sitting on the train. Right, lads, Latvia away. What are we feeling today? Do you know that meme of that boy going 1-0 Will Grigg up the ticks? Do you reckon 15 years ago he was going 1-0 Marino, Andy Silva, up the boys?
But I mean, that's my personal opinion. I think that would be, and I think that would make it more. You know, they'd sit there and be like, okay, we've actually made it but it's not doing them any favours, is it? Like, and then it gives chances for like even smaller nations like St. Kitts and Nevis. They might have a chance if they're going up against San Marino to get into, you know, a group. I just think I'm not going to lie, and this is nothing to make.
I think the thing also here is that San Marino are the lowest ranked nation.
But this is what I mean. But like, and also
there is no smaller nation than San Marino. And
also, I think if the games were more competitive, people would be up for the international breaks, because we've had this discussion before on and off podcast. You know, back in the day when we were growing up watching football, when there was an international break, we never used to hum and ha and moan. We used to sit there and go, oh, yes, England are playing. That's just as good. It was just as good watching England as it was watching your club. And now we get to the international breaks and everyone has the same discussion. Who are you playing next weekend? Oh, let me have a look. We're not playing. Oh, it's an international. And everyone, it's an international break. Whereas if we were going up against, you know, tougher teams, it would make the football more enjoyable to watch, because we're not going into these qualifiers going, oh, Albania and San Marino. I mean, what a waste of time. Why stop the season for that? Whereas if we're going up in qualifiers against Denmark and Serbia, then I think we'd be a bit more up for it, because we're going to have to turn up a bit today and play some good football to get some results. Like, do you agree with me?
Yeah, just to go back on your point, Denmark are now considered shit. They fucking Che Adams score against them. Shea McAdams.
They're semi-finalists.
God knows, they've gone from that to losing to Scotland.
But I think that would make people wanting to watch internationals more often, because
I know what you mean.
Because I mean, we used to. You must have been the same as me. International football used to be just as good as watching your.
We used to have England football days at school where we'd all come wearing England shirts.
Yeah, exactly. And now we don't. We sit there and go, "Oh, it's another international break." I mean, I'm not being funny.
There's a reason why they're trying to boost non-league football during the international breaks.
Yeah, of course they are. I'm not being funny, but like, I if England are playing on the TV in an international break, I won't worry about missing the game. Like if I'm doing
I didn't watch the game last night.
I have to be honest, neither did I. It's 10-0, and like, just no motivation for it, because
you know what I took from watching the highlights at work this morning? San Marino's kit was disgusting. It was horrid. I kind of want to buy one, but it's horrid.
It's terrible. It is absolutely terrible. But 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 regardless of that, we've qualified. We're going to Qatar 2020.
Yes, I didn't think it was going to happen. Oh,
we needed 4 points, Ollie. Albania and San Marino aren't easy games. No, I'm joking. But we've qualified. We're there. Southgate. I mean, I haven't actually really properly spoke. We haven't actually properly spoke about Southgate since the Euros. Actually, I don't know.
It's been nice, isn't it?
And I want to get your opinion because I think you know what my opinion is on Southgate. What's your opinion at the moment? We've qualified for Qatar. You know, a semi-final and a final. I mean, you could, if you want to be one of those fans that throws the Nations League in, by all means do it. But I take the Euros and the World Cup, semi-final and the final in the last 2.
Right.
How far do you think we can go in this one? Do you think we can win it?
I feel like, of course we can win it. We have one of the best squads out there. Of course we can. But the difference is with this one, we have a lot playing against us. Do we have any players that play in hot countries? And I don't care if it's in the winter. It's still going to be hot.
Yeah.
Do we? Is there one player? There isn't, is there? Do you know what? I've searched Qatar winter temperatures up and it's telling me the scores for the Qatar men's handball team. I don't want that.
The only one you could sort of say if he was to go is Trippier.
Right. So they'll be okay. Fair enough. But do you know what? I take it back. Qatar's winters go up to about 25 degrees. So it's not cold. It's not cold, obviously, but it's hot. But
yeah.
we could win in that. I take it back. We should be winning it. We should win
win it.
I feel like we have to. That's the next step.
But do you think? I mean, this is my opinion. I think.
I don't think we will, but I think we should.
You don't think we will?
I don't think we will, but I think we should win it.
So why don't you think we will? Be honest.
Because he's got the Guardiola about him. He makes the wrong choice at the wrong time. We do everything right, and then we do everything wrong for when it matters.
I don't think it's the Guardiola. Do you know who I'd compare it to? I'd compare it to Mikel Arteta. I think he is the luckiest manager in football, Gareth Southgate. I really, really do. I think.
Did you not think he was going to be the next Villa manager at one point?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And but that's his level. And I'm sitting there going,
you think?
Why do we think we're going to win this tournament, a World Cup, when we've got a manager that if he became available and say all of the clubs in the Premier League let their managers go, just hypothetically, would any of the real top clubs appoint him? I would say absolutely not. There's no way that the top.
I would put Villa or Watford down as the only teams that would be interested.
Yeah, well, I would agree. I don't think any other club would.
And that's just that they would hire anyone that's got a name. Do you know what I mean?
And this is a problem that Belgium have had with Roberto Martinez. I mean, Roberto Martinez should have won something with that Belgian team, but he didn't because he's not a top manager. And I'm sorry, top managers win trophies. I can't remember the last time I think a mediocre manager won a trophy. When was the last time you looked at a manager and went, how on earth have you won that trophy? Like, how on earth have you done that? I generally, off the top of my head, can't even think of anyone. The only example people could probably throw at me is Claudio Ranieri, but I think Ranieri's he's not a shit manager. Whereas I look at Gareth Southgate and go, I think he's got very lucky. I think he's got a lot of talent in that squad. He's been very, very lucky.
You do sit there and wonder, and I'm sure, I guarantee. Imagine sitting there. Imagine sitting when Gareth Southgate missed that penalty, right? And saying that guy will be leading England in 2021.
You wouldn't believe it.
Are you crazy?
Yeah, well, exactly. And like
the guy who took money for a Pizza Hut advert, but literally took the piss out of him.
It's that's the caliber of manager that we got. Like and also with Roots, we've been so lucky. We've been so lucky with Roots. In the last 2 tournaments that we've done well in, our quarter-final opponents were Sweden and Ukraine. Do you know what I mean? Our semi-final opponents were Denmark and Croatia. Like, we're so lucky. And then we got to the final. we could have got a better team than Italy. Italy, don't get me wrong, I think Italy did start the tournament very well. But as the tournament went on, I think they sort of deteriorated a little bit. And I think that was such a beatable Italy team, and we didn't take advantage of that.
Oh, it was so beatable.
So beatable.
It just needed a bit of tactical thought, but there was none.
But this is the manager that we've got. And I sit there and go, I think we're just going to be in the same position again. I think we'll go far in the tournament, don't get me wrong. But this is my problem. We played against a shit Germany team, and everyone sits there and goes, well, he's finally beaten a big team. They're a big team, but they are shit.
A team that 4 years ago was getting knocked out of the World Cup by South Korea.
They were rubbish. They are rubbish. And Evan hyped it up, and I just think I just don't see how Southgate, if we got in the last 16 of this tournament, if we got an Argentina, we are not winning that game. I'm sorry, we're not doing it. And like everyone says, oh, we beat Colombia. Well, we beat them on penalties. Oh, we locked them, and then we beat Germany. Well, we should be beating Germany. Germany were rubbish, and they even helped us out by not playing Gnabry and Sane in the actual game. Baffling. And then it's big moments, like when the two big games was Italy in the final and Croatia in the semi-final, and we were all in the same boat going, Croatia are going to score in a minute, Italy are going to score in a minute, and what happens? We don't do anything, we don't change it.
They were literally the same game, different team.
It was exactly the same game, and I'm not being funny here. He tactically lost us that penalty shootout. I've never seen a manager tactically lose a penalty shootout. Like penalties, any world-class manager can lose a penalty shootout, but he tactically lost us that shootout. It's not even that. It's something that doesn't even sound possible. It was baffling. It doesn't sound possible, but he lost us that penalty shootout. I've never ever once blamed the manager for losing a penalty shootout, but I blame him for that. You know, we've seen managers win penalty shootouts. Like you could say Thomas Tuchel won the Super Cup on a penalty shootout. He won that on penalties. All he should have said, because there would have been, no matter what, there would have been so much pressure on those players, and they would have felt it so much, right? All he needed to do was say, smash it as hard as you can. Exactly. Don't think about it. And what did he tell them? The stats here. The Donnarumma has a percentage of doing backflips here, so you need to put it in the top corner. He brushes his teeth with Colgate, so you need to do a little pass into the right corner. Well, you're right in saying that, because Saka has never taken a professional penalty in his life. He placed it. What did Maguire do? Never took a professional penalty in his life. What did he do with this one? He just hit it as hard as nails. You know what it reminds me of, and the way of doing it. Do you remember when we beat you in the Carling Cup all those years ago? Oh yeah. And it was coming down to the people who had to take the penalties, like didn't have a choice. So the people, like besides the 5 actual takers. And for some reason, when they were asking who wants to go next for penalty number 6, Michael Duff put his hand up, and he says in the DVD he has no idea why he said he was going to do it. And literally all Graham Alexander told him to do was smash it as hard as he can down the middle, and it went in. Yeah, and it's the only penalty he ever took in his career. Well, this is what I mean, and this is why I just don't have any. I don't have any confidence with Southgate. I really don't. I just think we're going to be in the same position. And if we don't have an easy route like we've had the last 2 tournaments, we'll get knocked out early. We'll get knocked out in the last 16, which is why it's baffling. Why are they giving him a contract before the bloody tournament's even happened? Wait till after the tournament. If he wins it, then give him another contract. But don't reward what has been failure. Like, we should have won that tournament. We had the best squad. We were the Man City of that tournament. We had players in every position, top players in every single position on the football pitch. Italy were bringing on nobodies in their tournament. They're bringing on people that we went, who? Whereas we were bringing on Bellingham and Saka and Sancho and Rashford. Chilwell never got a minute on the pitch. These are top players. It's excuses with Southgate, and I just think we're going to be in the same boat yet again. I don't see us winning it, I have to be honest here. I really don't. Neither do I. I just think if we just appointed a manager that had a style, because I don't think Gareth Southgate really has a style of football. I think he's a tacticless manager. And this is the problem. Everyone says, yeah, he's still learning his game. He's still young. He's been in the game years. He's been in the game years and years and years and years now. Like he started managerial career when I started watching football, and that was in 2006. He's a veteran in the game. And I don't know why we just didn't cut our losses and go for someone like a Steven Gerrard, who has proven in a limited time in his career that he can go to a club that he's not doing particularly great. And what's he done with Rangers? He's turned them into title winners. And not only has he turned them into title winners, he's put a brand of football and a project together on there. Why can't we do that with Gerrard of England? Why don't we just go to Brighton and say, we're having Graham Potter? There's no way Graham Potter, no matter how well he's doing at Brighton at the moment, if England went to him and said, we want you for the England manager's job, there ain't an Englishman out there who's saying no to that job.
True.
Oh,
I think the only one who turns it down is Brendan Rodgers.
he's not English, is he?
Oh my God, great point. He just seems English. Tell me he doesn't seem English.
He does seem English. But
he's not, is he? I always think he sounds so English as well.
Yeah, he's not English.
Is he Irish? Oh, he's Northern Irish.
Yeah, he's Northern Irish. But I don't know. And I just think with the players that we've got, and he just picks the wrong players. I mean, like, why are we still persisting with Mings and Cody? Like Cody a few years ago, yes, I would have 100%. I think I even had said this to you. I think.
I thought it was brilliant a couple of years ago.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, I was saying, I must have said it to you. I was saying Conor Cody is, for me, the first name on that team sheet. He's absolutely brilliant, but he's not anymore. Neither is Tyrone Mings. Tyrone Mings is not good enough for the bloody England job. Well, for the England team.
Oh, don't start putting that one in my head.
And it will be one day. You watch. It will be.
Gate can do it. Don't so can anymore.
But like look at the players that are in form at the moment. You've got Ben White, who's doing brilliant at Arsenal at the moment. He's not called in. Tomori's doing really well. Why is he not in there? You could even Cresswell. That's another one. You could even throw someone like a Mark Gay in. He's been brilliant. Lewis Dunk. Adam Webster. The list goes on of players that are playing better. That even if you're sitting there going, Maguire and Stones are my two, you could sit there and go, right, if we were an England manager, we'd probably do something different. But I'm not going to sit there and kick up a fuss about them two at the back. But we're asking for literally players that are going to be in the squad. We don't want Mings and Cody. We want exciting young talent like Ben White and Tomori. We want that. Not bloody Tyrone Mings jumping in going, hello, I am. I mean, Tyrone Mings might as well just run out with a Lewis Dunk mask on and go, hello, I am Lewis Dunk.
Make it sound like he's on Take Me Out. Hello, ladies. My name's Lewis Dunk, and I'm from Brighton. Also, Brighton are the biggest myth of this season. How are they seventh, but they haven't won a game since the middle of September?
They've been really good, though.
They haven't won a game since the middle of September.
They must have done.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
Oh.
Crazy, isn't it? The only reason I know that is because someone mentioned it at work today.
They should have been Newcastle. They were rubbish, Newcastle.
Yeah,
but
that's the game we. Yeah, they were down to 10 men, weren't they?
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, no, they lost 10 down to 10 men in the last minute because Robert Sanchez, who I think is one of the most overrated goalkeepers in the league, if I'm being honest.
I didn't think he was until I started playing the new Football Manager. Now I think he's the most overrated person in the world because he does not know what a ball looks like.
He is so overrated, I think. He's quite overrated, that Robert Sanchez. But the last thing England, then we'll find something else to talk about because it just winds me in. But this is the question. Harry Kane is on 48 goals for England. He is 5 behind Wayne Rooney's record, which, to be honest, if he plays against San Marino one more time, he's going to break that anyway. Where does he rank? When he does get that record, is he the greatest striker to play for England?
It's a tough one. See, the thing is, I think technically he is, but it's just hard to say he is at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Because I actually think he's technically one of the best players we've ever had. Like with the amount of skill that guy's got and ability, not skill really, but you know what I mean. The ability that guy has got to find a goal.
Yeah.
But also, how many times do we? Do you know what? We always relied on Rooney. He would, Rooney would. Do you remember how gutted we were when he broke his metatarsal?
Yeah.
If Harry Kane gets injured, I think they would be real upset. But I think people would be like, it's fine. Like, we'll find goals from other people.
Yeah.
Whereas Rooney, we pretty much people had just said it's over. Like, if Rooney's not going, there's no point playing. And I don't really get that vibe about Harry Kane because Tottenham can be disappointing with him on and off the pitch. Do you know what I mean? And I feel the same with England.
But
technically he would. If technically, I suppose he would be.
But it doesn't add up because why? If you're saying that like England, there's that feeling that we can cope without Harry Kane. So why in the big tournaments when he doesn't look like he's not doing anything, why don't we take him off?
You're gonna have to ask Gareth that one.
No,
do you know the annoying thing?
We'll have a conversation with that man.
Oh, I wouldn't let you near him. The thing is, right? We have some really good understudy strike. They're never going to get in the starting lineup. That's fine. I think that everyone agrees that Harry Kane is the best striker we've got by an absolute country mile. But you're telling me our backups are Calvert-Lewin and Danny Ings and Ollie Watkins and Patrick Bamford. Someone will find you a goal out of those.
Tammy Abraham.
Yeah, I've been glad to. I don't even really like Tammy that much, but now I don't see him every week. I've been glad to see him back in the England team. I don't know why.
Well, he's playing well with Roma at the moment. Mourinho's getting the best out of him.
Well, he's got to get the best out of someone. They're not doing very well.
But he's doing all right with them at the moment. But I mean, it just goes back to that Southgate thing again. It was just like he's got no, like you say now, he's had understudies, but he had for years. He had Jamie Vardy sitting behind him. I mean, if there was ever
but this is what I'm saying. They never these understudies never get the bloody chance.
But
that's not due to Harry Kane being. Well, it is. It's such a difficult question to answer.
But if there was ever a time, like in that 2018 World Cup, right back to 2016, 2018, until Vardy was tired, because they both sort of appeared on the England scene at the same time, didn't they? Really. If there was ever a time to go, Harry Kane literally looks like he's doing nothing. We can take him off. We've got Jamie Vardy on the pitch. You know, it's not like you're taking off Kane and bringing Bamford on. You've got one of the best strikers in the league, one of the best Premier League strikers ever, raring to go on the bench, and we didn't do it.
It's such a weird. If something doesn't work, you don't carry on doing it.
It's like Vardy literally became what Peter Crouch was for years. Like Peter Crouch's England record was second to none. Every time he played for England, he pretty much scored a goal. And yet, in the big moments when we needed goals, Crouch was never called upon.
You know that Euros was so weird because you had Will Grigg, who was like becoming like this viral star, and he hardly played. I don't think he played 1 minute, did he, in the Euros?
No.
Yeah. Every single game, you had Will Griggs on fire stuffed down your throat. And then the other player who was so popular for it was Jamie Vardy, who hardly played.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's so mad. Like, these two players were literally fucking the two stars of the tournament. They hardly played.
It is ridiculous.
It's so weird, isn't it?
But going back to the question, I genuinely think Kane, and this is going to sound harsh, but I'm going to say it. I think Kane needs to get 60, 70 England goals to be considered the best, in my opinion.
Agree. I completely agree.
Because I think...
Or we win a tournament with him as captain.
True. But I just think...
I don't think he's the right captain. You can tell he's not a leader.
No, he's not. I want Declan Rice to have that on his.
I want Jordan Henderson to have it. At least there's someone who's got a feeling of winning something.
But I don't think Henderson's a starter for England at the moment anymore. I don't think he is. Whereas I look at someone like Declan Rice and I go, that's the guy. I think Declan Rice is probably the most guaranteed member of that team for the next 10 years. He for me is the guy that I look at and go, you are not moving from that spot for as long as England play. You
wait till Jack Cork gets his call up again.
Again, he had his chance and he blew it.
That was great. No, he played. He's unbeaten in an England shirt.
He's also booked in an England shirt.
Wow. That was mental. That was crazy that year. Jack Cork in the England team. I was having a great time.
Wonders will never cease. But yeah, I think he's got to do that because I think Harry Kane has scored a lot against, not being disrespectful, but he's scored a lot of goals against Farmers. I mean, to get 7 goals in 2 games, some England strikers never get that in their lifetime. And he's got
That's
that in
one
2
less than Andy Silva got in his whole San Marino career. In 16 years. No, 18 years, sorry.
But that's what I mean. But it's just, I think it's going to carry on like that with the caliber of the opposition we're going to be playing. I agree. Actually, I think he either needs to win a big trophy or he needs to get. I actually think 70 goals plus.
David, you're not giving the guy enough credit. The guy's got a hat trick in a World Cup against Panama.
It's just jokeable, isn't it? Like, this
Do you
is
know who else scored twice against Panama? John fucking Stones.
I'd love to know the opponents Harry Kane has scored for against England. I'm actually you for a bit. I'm going to find it out.
I'll tell you. I'm already on Wikipedia, mate.
Go on, Harry Kane England goals. Tell me who he scored against.
Oh, we could be here a while. Right. David starts off strong with the first 2. Lithuania, San Marino, Switzerland, Germany, Turkey, Scotland, France, Malta, Slovenia, Lithuania, Nigeria, Panama, Colombia, Montenegro, Croatia, Kosovo, Ukraine, Hungary, Andorra, Poland. Fuck me, he's not actually scored against many big teams, has he?
Tell me, this is what I mean.
You never realised, do you?
He scored 1 goal against Germany, and that's the only one.
That's the biggest team he scored against. Not anything. No Spain's, no France. Whereas you look at, to be fair, if you looked at someone like Raheem Sterling, you see quite a few. I think.
I'd agree. Yeah, I think so.
Because I always remember Sterling scoring against Spain.
Yeah, I'd agree. So yeah, you can argue that. You could argue that, and also, yeah. How many of those have been penalties?
I don't know if it even tells me on there.
So there's a lot of arguments to that, and I think if he wants to be considered that, I think he's got to score about 70 goals plus.
But again, I guess, when did England play Turkey at the Etihad? I don't remember that at all.
Neither do I.
That's so random. He scored a goal at the Etihad.
Goals. He's made up goals in his own.
Oh, sorry, I take it back. Harry Kane has scored against France.
Oh, is it?
I didn't see that. Yeah, I didn't see that one.
Oh, but he's greatest striker to play for England. I've said it here. But
not yet.
No, not yet. No,
he's definitely got the ability to be it.
If he continues what he's doing and wins us a trophy, then yeah, I would 100% say yeah. I would 100% say yeah. I think so. I think so 100%. I'd love to. And also, this is another question I want to ask you. In order,
is Danny Higginbottom the best Gibraltar player of all time? Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Better than Scott Wiseman.
I'm going to give you 4 names here. Okay, 4 names. I'm going to give you Jack Grealish.
Oh, I was going to say Jack Cork.
Mason Mount, Phil Foden, Emile Smith-Rowe. Who at the World Cup is going to be in that front 3 behind Kane?
Who in that front 3? So I need to choose 2 players. Well,
because you got. One. Well, because we probably will play 5 at the back. So yeah, who's going to be playing behind Kane? So yeah, 2.
Foden, without a doubt, and probably who are they again? Sorry, Emile Smith-Rowe, Grealish, Foden, and Mount. Ooh, it's tough because I know who I want to say, but it's not who I think it will be.
Do you want to say Smith-Rowe?
No, I want to say Foden and Grealish, but I want it to be Foden and Mount.
I think
got a bit 2 different players there.
I have to say, I think Smith-Rowe is overtaking Grealish a little bit here. I think
he's been disappointing for £100 million.
I'd agree, and I think if you want someone who's taking the games by the scruff of the neck at the moment, I think Smith-Rowe's probably up there as the form player in the league right now.
Oh yeah, without doubt. It's such a hard question because so much football is the most changing sport of all time.
Where would you rank them in order? If you were doing...
As in right this moment from the Premier League? Right
this moment in time, where do they come 1 to 4?
Right, well, I'm going to try and justify each one. So
maybe you have an element of form because you can't forget what they have done in the past. So maybe try a 50-50 blend with what they have done, but also current form. Who's the best?
Oh, okay, that changes it a bit, actually. So that's a good thing you said that. So, fourth. This is a tough one because I always had a great hint over Jack Grealish, but I do put Grealish fourth. I just, I find it hard watching him play, especially not for England. Do you know what I mean? When he plays for Villa or City, it's a tough watch for a neutral. So I put Jack because at the end of the day, what has he actually done?
True.
Definitely a fantastic player in there. Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Oh, I think he's wicked.
Apparently, he's shagging Emily Atack. But sorry, that's not at all. I just remember
number one. He should be first for
that. I expect to see him on I'm a Celeb soon. Number 3, probably. Unfortunately, this is the thing. So I was actually going to put Smith Rowe first, but unfortunately for him, I put him third now. But do you know what? If it was done solely on form at the moment, he's the only one changing games for his team. But if we're adding in that extra, then number 2, it's got to be Phil Foden. Because if we're adding that bit of what he's done for his team, Mason Mount's got to be top.
Okay.
Mason Mount, I'm sorry, Phil Foden's been in a team full of stars. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Mason Mount has had to pull out victories for... It's not like, do you know, if I think of back to victories where Man City have scraped a win, I always think of Sterling or De Bruyne.
Who do you think's going to be the better player out of those two, Mount and Foden? Because I think this is another. I think these two are the next Lampard and Gerrard. I genuinely do. Different positions. They're not deep line centre midfield players, but it's going to be that argument. I think in.
Is it mad? Is it wrong to say I think they're both going to be better than Lampard and Gerrard?
I think it's harsh on Lampard and Gerrard because they're different types of players.
But I think just for the impact they have on their team, I actually think they're going to be. And you know how much I love both Gerrard and Lampard.
I think the difference is that Lampard and Gerrard. I think what Lampard and Gerrard did, you could argue they're probably going to be better because.
Do you know the other thing as well?
They weren't
Lampard and Gerrard went through stages of playing in some very poor teams.
True.
Whereas Sterling's never. Sorry, not Sterling. What's his name? Foden's never going to play in a poor team, is he? Really?
Well, no, you would argue that. But I think this is going to be another Lampard and Gerrard with them two, where you sit there and go. I think in 10 years, 20 years time, we'll be sitting on this podcast at the ripe old ages of, how old will I be? 46 and 46 and 43. We'll be sitting on this podcast going, I have to say Foden. I have to say Mount.
David will be sitting there. Why the fuck is Southgate still manager?
Literally, he would have killed me off on him.
Harvey Elliott should be England manager.
Yeah, I'd give it to Lee Hendry. But
Lee Hendry, fucking hell.
No, we all know in our lifetime, Jonathan Woodgate's going to have that job at one point.
Gate, it's got to be.
It is.
It's the Middlesbrough conundrum. Neil Warnock for England manager. But been sacked, it could happen.
Yeah, it could do. Middlesbrough effect. But
to be fair, then I get my dream of Chris Wilder being England manager.
That's true. Yeah, he could. He's out of job at the moment.
No, he's just become Middlesbrough manager.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he needs to change his name to Chris Wildgate.
We have all the wild parties at my gate. A terrible joke. Don't know why I said that. But I generally think they're going to be the other thing where you're going to have differing opinions, but they're both. I think. Do you want me to be honest here? I think Foden will always be the naturally. I think Foden's the Gerrard who's probably got the more natural ability with the football, but Mount's the work hard who's worked his way up without not necessarily the greatest skill, but made his game better. And is right up there in the conversation.
Yeah, I would disagree with that.
I think it's a difficult one because, as you said, like Foden is playing they're both playing in world-class teams at the moment. So
yeah, but we've seen Mount in a team that's really struggling, and he's been the one who's pulled them out of it.
Oh yeah, beginning.
I remember. I'll never forget that game against Fulham where you were awful. You were so bad. But it was just a moment of magic from Mount that, and I say moment of magic. It's not like he pulled it out of nowhere. He was all skill and quality.
He was brilliant at whole. He at the beginning of last season, he was the only player that was turning up.
Yeah. And he's just always slated by everyone as well, and I don't get it.
I don't get it. Like, what is everyone's problem?
I think he's fantastic.
I don't understand why everyone gives so much hate to Mason Mount and Phil Foden. And I'm not gonna lie, like, who turned up in the Champions League final for their team when it mattered? It was Mason Mount. It was Mason Mount. You didn't see Phil Foden doing much in that final. Well, Mason Mount did. And Mason Mount created the winning goal. I mean, not many players that age can even see that pass, let alone execute it and catch out one of the best goalkeepers in the world in that game. And also one of the best keepers in the world in dealing with situations like that where the ball's coming through. That ball was timed perfectly to get the goalkeeper out, but also have enough on it so that the goalkeeper would fuck up. It was the perfect pass, and he did it perfectly.
I couldn't disagree.
Unreal player. But who do you think is going to be? Do you see any of them winning a Ballon d'Or?
Unfortunately, not.
You not?
No, I think the Ballon d'Or, you got to be scoring. Unfortunately, I don't think it should be done this way at all. But I think you got to be scoring 50 goals a season. Do you know what I mean?
Well, Modric won it.
Yeah, but do you know how?
Well, no.
Exactly.
Well, it can happen, can't it?
I just think it's always going to be a striker or a winger's award. Do you know what I mean?
Can I be honest? Actually, I can see Phil Foden winning it, but just because of the type of the player he is, I can't see Mount winning it. But I can. It would not surprise me the slightest if Phil Foden was to win it one day.
We're seeing a lot that obviously Foden's now the pressure's on him a bit more. He's not this young talent. I mean, he is a young talent still, but he's a first-team Man City player, and he needs to step up and be that. Whereas Mount has been a first-team player for a while now, and you kind of expect him. You expect at least a 7 out of 10 performance every game. Do you know what I mean?
But can I be honest? I think if Phil Foden doesn't turn up, I don't think Man City are as good.
True. Yeah, absolutely. They haven't got anyone who can. He's probably the biggest bar De Bruyne. He's probably the biggest game changer for them.
But look at that Liverpool game. They drew 2-2. He was absolutely brilliant in that game.
But then, in some games he's nowhere to be seen, isn't he? So.
But that's because he's a young kid.
I know. Yeah, it's a mad saying he's a young kid. He's got like a 4-year-old kid as well. Mental to me. But anyway, not the point.
But yeah, it's exciting, and this is the talent that we got with England, and
we're so low on England all the time.
I know. Look,
sad.
That's because of the manager. That's because of the manager that we got. I'm sorry, with the manager we got, we're not winning the tournament. Okay, last thing before we go. Actually, last thing, then we'll do our unexpected star of the week, and then we'll.
Oh, I know. I always forget everything. Something every week.
If we don't win the tournament and the FA go actually, Southgate, we're ripping up that contract, we don't want you anymore. And then they come to you in your office in Hastings and go, hello, Ollie.
Dave, when do I don't live in Hastings.
Preston, whatever.
I've been offended.
They get
as a proud northerner.
And then they come to Preston after getting lost and go to Hastings first. And they go, hello, Ollie. We want you to come and manage the England FA. And you go, oh, absolutely. And then they go, right, your first job.
Beat San Marino.
And then they go, you're in charge of getting the England manager. We want your top 3 appointments, and we're going to get one of them. If we don't get the first choice, we'll get the second choice. If we don't get the second choice, we will get you that third choice. Can we have your list of your 3 managers in the order that you want them for the England job? Who are you picking?
Well, quite tough, actually. David, one day, I tell you, one day we will absolutely plan a podcast and I will think of the question. I'm joking. My first choice would be Stevie G.
Okay.
My second choice, no surprises, would be Daichi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just a Sean Dyche simp at the end of the day. And my third choice. Ooh, it's tough, isn't it? Because you think about the England managers who are doing well. The third choice would have to be Brendan Rodgers. I just want. Okay, no, I just said English managers, but I just think Brendan Rodgers. There's enough. He's got enough adaptability with top players and with like mid-table, lower league, Premier League players. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. If it was me, I'm looking at that. I'm looking at that.
Dean Smith.
I'm not saying Eddie Howe or Dean Smith. Don't you worry.
Hey!
I'm sorry, Eddie Howe to Newcastle. I mean, that is literally like Captain America going up against Thanos and going, "Oh, I'm going to bring Tinky Winky with me." It's the last person I'd want anywhere near that job if I was a Newcastle fan is Eddie Howe. That's the last person.
Honestly, mate.
That is the last person. If I was a Newcastle fan right now, I'd just be like, well, hello, Rotherham. If you think that a guy who got relegated in his last job that had players that didn't even like each other, and half the players are at Bournemouth.
He spent 19 million on Dominic Solanke.
And 15 million on Jordan Ive. Ah!
Oh.
And yeah. But my first choice, I'm actually going to go different to you. I'm going to put Gerrard in second. But my first choice would be Graham Potter. I think he is perfect for the England job. I think because I look at this England team and I think the style of manager that we need is someone who's very good at setting up a good defence, but allowing the players at the top to do something. Like, we've got so much attacking talent. Fucking use it. Why are we playing 5 at the back? Use the talent that we've got. Have a solid base, 4 at the back. It worked for hundreds of years. 4 at the back worked for hundreds of years. Yet we don't need it's not broken. 4 at the back works. Then let the attacking talent that we have got in abundance do their thing up the pitch. We've got a good 4 at the back. Declan Rice. We don't need any more than that. So we need a manager who's going to be able to set up a good base, but also allow the attacking talent to flourish. And the top 2 for me would be Graham Potter, number 1, Stevie G, number 2. And in third place, I think, I wouldn't be against seeing Frank Lampard in that job. I know what happened at Chelsea. Don't get me wrong. I know it didn't end well at Chelsea, but I think Lampard could do something with this England team. I think he could. He's not playing every week. The pressure's not on him. No one's really, looking at every week.
He's got a lot to prove if he's going to become England manager.
He's got a lot to prove, but I don't think it would be. For my third choice manager, I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world to have Frank Lampard. So yeah, and I think if you had Frank Lampard and you gave him, say a really solid person, assistant manager. If you gave him a good assistant manager beyond it,
Lee Carsley. No?
If you gave him Ian Woan, then I think if you had Lampard and Ian Woan, I think that would do bits. And don't get me wrong, R.I.P. bless his soul. But if Lampard had someone of the character of like a Ray Wilkins with him, I think England would do all right. So my choice is I want someone young and vibrant that's going to take this England team.
Not even like young, but just someone who's not bland and boring.
I don't want anyone, and I know Lampard's got, but Lampard didn't. Okay, it's going to be I know it's a controversial thing to say, but Lampard's not clouded in failure. It just didn't work out. I think the way you look at what Lampard's Chelsea, I don't think it was failure because he didn't have enough time to make it a failure. I just think it was I think it was in the process of wasn't working out. I wouldn't say Lampard's time at Chelsea was a failure. That's my opinion on it. It didn't look like it was going in the right direction, but it's not like when you look at someone like an Eddie Howe, who was relegated with Bournemouth, a Gareth Southgate, who was relegated with Middlesbrough and also failed at the England under-21s. I mean, that's failure on your CV. I don't think Lampard's got necessarily failure there. I want someone who's fresh, hungry, young, and could do something with this team. And they'd be my three.
David, I've just seen the worst England banter of all time on Facebook.
Oh, no.
There's a picture of them all coming home, right, on the plane. And John Stones and Sam Johnston are like arms in arms each other at the back. And it says, just imagine the banter the two at the back are having there. I'm Johnston. No, I'm John Stones.
Oh, oh dear.
It's so fucking bad.
Okay. And your last thing, I'll give you enough time. Unexpected star of the week. Who are you going for?
I'm going for Norwich's Matthias Norman, mainly for the fact I said when Burnley played Norwich, he's the only one out of that Norwich team that I'd have. And then my dad went, really? And then when he's actually done all right and he played really well against Brentford.
I'm going for a different flavour. I know it's a weekly thing, but I'm going for that Mark Gay. I think he's been superb for Palace lately, and I think he's.
I'm sure a Palace player wins one of ours each week.
I think he's very unlucky not to be even in the conversation for an England place, let alone not be there. I think he's been brilliant.
Congratulations, Mark Gay and Matthias Norman. Your awards will be in the post soon.
You'll have a football sticker on the way.
Hey, I've still got them. I'm sitting on my windowsill.
And last thing before we go, the Manton Avenue derby happened.
Hey, walking along, singing a song, walking in a virtual wonderland.
All right. Well,
there's only sorry.
If you want to celebrate one chance in a game, then feel free, my friend.
Oh, we could have won it. We had 2 chances.
Oh, whoa.
Not my fault we're clinical and you're not.
Oh, here we go. Well, if you want to sit back with 10 men behind the ball, and then feel free, my friend.
Okay, it worked out well for us.
Oh, you're just so... Actually, do you know what? The last 2 times we've drawn 1-1 at home.
That's what I mean. You're moaning, but...
We've won the league.
Exactly. I can't believe you're moaning. We're doing you a favour.
So thank you, Burnley. Thank you, Burnley.
It fucking makes up for Thomas Tuchel throwing his toys out the pram and celebrating in front of Deitch.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, look at me. I'm a 40-year-old balding man. Okay, right. I'm a 23-year-old balding man, but that's fine.
Well, it was a bit of an annoying game, as it always is against you lot.
I had great fun. I don't know about you.
So we kind of banter over each other, really, because no one won the game.
No. Oh, you'll win 4-1 at Turf Moor. You always do. We'll make up for it, I'm sure.
But well played, mate. Well played.
Well, David, the points were shared, so well played to you as well.
Oh, thank you very much. Even if it fucked up for us when West Ham won as well. Oh, bloody useless you are.
Oh. Well, yeah, we're quite the opposite, actually.
You won't do that against City, will you? You get beaten 5-0.
Oh, yeah, but we like to throw the ball in the net against City. I don't know what happened. It's so weird against Man City. Cause, we could win the Premier League, but we'd still have 2 5-0 losses against City.
Yeah, you just get battered by City every time.
I thought we did all right against City this season, actually. We didn't lose 5, we only lost 2-0.
Could have been 5.
Well, I don't think so. Could have been 2-1. Ooh.
Maxwell Cornet.
Oh, what a player. Wait, before we go, I'm going to see if he scored for the Ivory Coast. Oh, they're losing.
Is he the best player you've ever seen at Burnley?
Yes.
Is he actually?
He's unreal. I bought my girlfriend a Cornet scarf. Even she knows that he's that good.
Are you going to get him on your shirt?
Yeah, probably.
He'll be gone next year, so you've got to do it this season.
Yeah, exactly. I normally hold on. Do you know, I saw a really funny thing. When we were playing you, we took off Maxwell Cornet to be replaced by Eric Peters, and I just thought, wow, there's one GOAT being replaced by another. I was like, in what universe does a guy who tore apart Man City a couple of years ago gets replaced by Eric Peters.
I heard he doesn't speak very good English. So do you think he actually understands what Dyche is saying?
He probably heard that Eric Peters once played for the Netherlands and thought, wow, this guy must be good. Do you think Dyche has learned French? Oui, Cornet.
Pardon?
Bonjour.
Do you think he actually understands your Dyche?
Maxwell.
Or does he just sit in the corner of the dressing room going, why is this ginger balding man just keep shouting before the game? Who is this ginger bald man?
Apparently him and Matt Lowton are really good friends.
Who, Dyche?
No, Cornet.
Oh dear. No, Dyche is having
He probably thought, do you know what? He's probably heard, heard that Lowton was called the Chesterfield Cafu. And he's never heard of Chesterfield. He's like, has Cafu changed his name?
Or he's gone Cafu. God, he must be good.
There's this guy in my office who he doesn't like football at all. Well, he likes football, but doesn't really support a team. Doesn't know much, but he knows Cafu. And we had this Arsenal fan, and he went, "Oh yeah, I'll fall back. He's the Japanese Cafu." And I went, "Oh, he's not as good as the Chesterfield Cafu." And he just was like, "Who the fuck is that?"
Oh dear. Oh well, it's been another good week. Another good week of podcasting. We slated Gareth Southgate, so 4-4-2 meters.
Wait, can I finish? Can I finish on one last question?
Go on.
Is Southgate the one, and does he turn you on?
No.
Okay.